Smith. Both parties are present. Mr. Smith, the defendant, is present with his attorney, Kyle Quinn. This is a motion to enforce a section of the parenting time order, giving the father 7 additional overnights with the minor children in the calendar year. Said overnights may be consecutive or non-consecutive. Additional overnights can allow the minor children to celebrate special occasions with the defendant father, including, but limited to, a week-long trip, a long weekend, an extra vacation, a special event, etc. Defendant father will give plaintiff mother at least 30 days notice and when he would like to utilize this time. It goes on to say the parties will attempt to work together to see if the requested days are feasible given the minor children's school and other scheduled activities. Neither party will discuss this request with the minor children until the dates are solidified. If the parties cannot agree to the defendant father's request, they will submit to mediation to try to resolve this issue. And if mediation is unsuccessful, the court shall decide the issue upon motion. Father gave mother notice in December, end of December, that he wanted to take the kids from February 16 through the 23rd, in essence, to go down to Orlando, Florida. I believe the kid's grandmother's down there. And ultimately received, after some going back and forth, said from the mother, said, I'm kind of interpreting your words, but that's fine, except the kids don't want to go, so I'm not going to agree to it. Isn't that pretty much what you said, ma'am?
I said, I initially, as soon as he asked, I said what we had scheduled, which is.
I understand there was extracurricular activities. He is taking
school.
A winter break. Yep. He is going to miss, I don't know if it's a day or 2, 3 of school. 4 days of school. I know his response was, oh, well, you've had to miss other days. I'm not really going there. Whatever. You've also said that the kids have basketball and banquets and this kind of stuff during that time.
Correct. Which are
do the kids want to go or not?
They do not want to go, and
all right.
They're willing to tell you that.
All right. Mr. Quinn, I know what your argument is. You say it's a wonderful time. I agree. I mean, my kids would have gladly skipped school any day and time to go anywhere, but that's my kids.
Yeah, Your Honor, I think you cited and went through the exact provision in the stipulated order. We entered that 6 months ago. She signed off on it. These kids, we think they want to go, and they don't get to, frankly, call the shots. They signed this order. They agreed to it, that he would go. He's complied with it, and she hasn't.
Well, that's the only part of the order that nobody's really complied. I know you asked for mediation, but it states right in here, if the parties cannot agree on defendant father's request, they will submit to mediation.
Well, I think I can address that, and I think my motion did. If you look at Exhibit B, he sent.
I see she refused, but she's not allowed to. You will submit to mediation.
Well, if we go now, I've heard nothing from her since we filed the motion. 0. I got no response, no reaching out and say, oh, now I'll attend mediation, nothing. And we need a court's decision today, because if it just kicks it to mediation and that's unsuccessful, then he's going to miss the whole trip, which is starting next weekend.
I understand.
He can still go on the trip if he wants.
Ma'am,
the kids just do not want to go.
Stop. You're not doing yourself any good. I'm just warning you. However, I understand what you're saying, but the court enforces its orders, and they will. Mother cannot simply say no. You could set up mediation today, and I'd force mom to go. However, I understand also what you're saying, and there is a provision in here that does not say he gets it automatically by just notice. It says if the requested days are feasibly given the minor children's school and other scheduled activities. Okay? The parties will attempt to work together to see if the requested days are feasible given the minor children's school. And what about that? I mean, I'm just saying it isn't that he gets to get them as long as he gives sufficient notice. They got to look at the kids' schedules and stuff like that.
Yeah, right? I would agree with that. And that was the intent, but it's these kids participate in activities year round, and they're going to have some impact to some degree on those activities. And just because they have a basketball practice or something like that doesn't
I
mean.
think there's more than a basketball practice. What I read is they're ending like their season and they're going to a banquet and this kind of stuff. And the only reason I'm giving the kids some type of a leeway of doing that is because these parties can't agree. They didn't go to mediation. They have to go to mediation before I'm even required to make any finding on it. They did. It says in here, we'll submit to mediation. And I got to enforce orders. And ma'am, you cannot not submit to mediation. Do you understand that? That's a court order you agreed to.
Right. Well, the way I read it was if there was nothing scheduled.
What do you mean? If
We
there
would
was
try
nothing
to-
scheduled?
Like if we didn't have anything already on the schedule, we would go to mediation if we still couldn't agree.
No. How can you read it at that? It says if the parties cannot agree on his request, they will submit to mediation. And you say, no, I'm not going to go. That's just open defiance of a court order. And quite frankly, I'm saying that you will submit to mediation. Mr. Quinn, you can set up mediation with Miss Giordano if she can do it Saturday. I don't care. It'll be done by Tuesday. Ma'am, why can't you be there at any given time between now and Tuesday?
Basketball games on Saturday and Monday. But if it's during the day, that's fine.
During the day.
Except, Saturday there's games until noon.
Your Honor, my problem with that is, one, she should have done this before. As the court said, that's just straight defiance of the order that she agreed to. And two, if they show up to mediation, she just says, nope.
I understand.
Same thing that she's done this whole
If
time.
he doesn't mediate in good faith, I'm sure he'll be back. Mr. Quinn, here's the biggest problem, is that this is not something that the dad automatically gets if he just gives him the dates, okay? And you tell me the kid's got some kind of activities all the time. I don't know. They're done with basketball apparently over the winter break. That's the end of it. What else are they in right after that? These are not these are 14 and 12-year-old kids. All right. I'm not dealing with 7 and 3. Okay. So that they don't really have that. I don't know how connected they are with all these events and what they want. And they might say, no, I want to go to, I've been in basketball this year and I want to go to basketball. And I've got a banquet and these are all the friends I've hung out with and stuff like that. I mean, are you?
Well, my response to that would be he's awarded these 7 floating days.
Yes.
And if it's always in some sort of activity, and she says, well, it's scheduled during the time they're in these activities, how is he ever going to have the parenting time that's truly awarded to him? The intent behind that was that we're going to minimize the impact, which is why he chose to pick the midwinter break. That was it. It is inevitable that it's going to cause, they're going to have some impact on the kids' multiple activities. That's it. My concern, Your Honor, is that, and based on her facial expressions during this hearing, I think she's going to stonewall him at mediation. As a result, he's going to miss the trip because she hasn't agreed, and we can't get back into before Your Honor before that ship has sailed. And then we're out of luck.
I'm not sure you want to get in front of me, but I'm going to set up an evidentiary, a motion time for Wednesday because mediation will be set in the next couple of days. And ma'am, you will show up at that. And you will, if I get from the mediator that you're not even acting in good faith, then the kids are probably going to go no matter what.
Right. Can I say something?
Yes.
I understand they have the midwinter break. If he wants the midwinter break, the Friday to the Monday, he could probably miss one practice and still be able to play in his games. But his games are Tuesday, Wednesday, awards on Thursday. And if he wanted that extended weekend, I would do that. But the boy is the leading scorer on his team, and he really does not want to miss his last game.
But you got to negotiate in good faith with him. Obviously, Dad wants to take him to Florida, and that's different. And plus, Mr. Quinn is entitled to 7 additional overnights. Okay, said overnights may be consecutive, non-consecutive. It doesn't say that he automatically gets all 7 or whatnot. They were meant for a year's period of time where maybe he's got a family thing that he wants to do in Lansing, and that's not his time, so he gets an extra time there. That doesn't. It's a weekend. It's a whatever. This isn't. I mean, you're saying that she just automatically can stonewall everything. it says in here, it's not limited to a week-long trip, a weekend trip, extra vacation, a special event. The problem with putting in something like this is it's kind of out there, and it doesn't just say upon proper notice, boom, he gets it. And no matter what, I'm just going from the four corners of the document that is in here. I didn't draft it. Okay, I didn't have anything to do with it. I'm just and I've gotten a lot meaner on the idea that just says people who put stuff in their orders have got to follow them, and they will submit to mediation. I'm giving you something that says she will submit to mediation, and I'm going to find a minute on Wednesday in which to have not an evidentiary hearing, continue this motion at that time if there is no mediated agreement. And it doesn't sound like there's going to be, and I'm not sure that I'm going to allow the kids to go. But maybe I should talk to them. Maybe I should, because it specifies in here, parties will attempt to work together to see if the requested days are feasible given the children's school and other schedules. Shouldn't have been put in there if we aren't going to look at the schools and other schedule.
I agree the document's written as it is, but it also states that he shall have those 7 days.
I'm not prohibiting him from having the 7 days throughout a year's period of time. Okay? He shall have them within the period of that if they're feasible. I can't imagine that there are not other times that are feasible that he can pick up a few days here or a extra long time there.
Maybe, but at the same time, this is a trip with his extended family to Florida.
I understand that. I told you in my world, in my world, my kids would be glad to leave. Even my kid who was so heavily involved in hockey, he would have taken off school, taken off hockey, and gone there because it'd be great. But that's not my world. I'm not doing it from my personal standpoint. From my personal standpoint, I would like the kids to go. All right, personally, but that's not what I'm here to rule on. I'm here to rule on legally. All right. And that kind of stuff was in there and is put in there. And I'm going to, like I say, I'm going to enforce mediation, go in good faith. If the mediator finds that there is absolutely no good faith, I suggest that maybe she'll be here on my motion time also. If you don't, but that doesn't mean you're going to reach an agreement. What time can we do Wednesday?
We can do 2:30.
2:30 Wednesday.
Let me look at my calendar, Your Honor.
I mean, this is getting really crazy because I don't know if you got tickets, and for Pete's sakes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm sure you do. I mean, you're not going to wait till you get it one way or another.
The plaintiff needs to participate in that mediation in good faith. I can put both parties will participate. I have no doubt Mr. Smith will. And then we're going to have a hearing on Wednesday time.
Just a continuation of the motion on Wednesday at 2:30. I don't know what else to do. And I'm not trying to give you much hope on that hearing, Mr. Quinn, if the parties, I will tell you this, if she doesn't negotiate in good faith, even if they don't come up with an agreement, and I get the mediator saying she wasn't in good faith, that's going to weigh heavily. But if parties try and negotiate in good faith, I may, ma'am, when are the kids available?
They can be available. What day?
Well, Wednesday. I'm saying, are they?
Wednesday. He has a game in Birch Run on Wednesday.
Well, what time?
At 5. But his bus leaves. He rides the bus there, and they leave at 3. I mean, I could do any other day, like today or.
You don't live here, do you?
No, I live in Saginaw.
I don't know if you could bring the kids over, but I'd like to hear from them one way or another what they want to say. Why don't you?
Yeah, they're happy to
have
talk
they told
to you.
their dad? Except
Yes.
for you?
Buckle up, guys. Today we are going to dive into a heated courtroom showdown that starts the moment the case is called. From the opening seconds, you can feel the tension as both parties are present and the stakes are clearly laid out. The judge immediately frames the dispute. The father is entitled to 7 additional overnights with his kids, but the mother refuses, citing the children's preferences. You can already sense the friction as the planned Florida trip enters the discussion. The legal terms are clear, but the human element, the children's involvement, raises immediate drama. This short intro hooks viewers by combining authority, conflict, and real-life stakes. The tone sets the stage for what promises to be an intense legal tug-of-war. Every second builds suspense and makes the audience wonder how the court will enforce compliance. It's precise, tense, and perfectly structured to grab attention from the first line.
I know.
Well, he's shaking.
No, I haven't heard from my son.
What?
I heard from my daughter, but she's just said the same thing that Molly has said for whatever excuses. I think my biggest problem is the zero effort she's put forward in trying to make anything happen, and just failure to reply or anything.
I replied
I
immediately
read
and
some
told you what
texts
we
and
have
stuff like
scheduled.
that, and she replied, and she just kind of basically said, "I'll leave it up to the kids," because one of your replies was basically, something like, "So you're not saying no," and I never saw her say no. She just kind of left it up to the kids, and she started out right away saying that there's events and school, and you said school, they miss for less than that when you took them. I understand. But then there are events at school. Maybe these events mean a lot to the kids. Maybe you got to know that they do. And maybe it wasn't a good time. Maybe it should be March 1st or something like that. I'm sorry. It's a crappy thing to be in, but I'm getting to the point, especially I'm going to enforce it with you guys, that you're going to have to follow court orders unless she doesn't mediate in good faith. You better talk to your kids and see if they really want to go or not.
Your Honor, I have two more comments. I'll be very brief. One with respect to the children, we have concerns with respect to her spinning, her meaning the plaintiff spinning so much.
Of course.
And I know the court will be attuned to that when it does speak with them. And two, so I'm clear with the order. We're going to continue the hearing on Wednesday. 2:30 works on my schedule. I'll make it work. Get them into mediation with Ms. Giordano before then. And then I have simply because of her outward defiance of the stipulated order to return to mediation before even having to be here in front of the court on that issue, we would request fees on that aspect.
I'm not going to give fees. I'm going to reserve fees right now in case I need to look at somebody. If I need to look at her later, I'm just going to, you got to follow court orders. You understand that?
Yes.
I'm not going to play games. They're court orders. They're not suggestions. Right. And I didn't even draft it, and you guys did the drafting. Okay. So I don't expect him to say, well, let's go to mediation, because it sounded like he was being reasonable and you said no. And that does bother me a lot.
Okay.
So, Monday or Tuesday or something, ma'am, I got to figure out how to try and ask your kids something without you being there. I know that chances are you're going to tell them what to say, but try my best to figure it out. Mr. Smith, you need to talk to your kids also. Do you have them this weekend?
No, next weekend is my weekend when I'm Florida trip.
All right. I need to try and figure out how to talk to your kids alone.
I tried calling them last night, but they both sent me to voicemail right away.
Ma'am, how do I
can have them call him, and I can give you their numbers or give them my phone to set up a Zoom and leave.
You're not here next week. Setting up a Zoom for them.
If we did it on Zoom, I can do it on Warcraft, which is what
What?
I could have them do it at school I could let them bring their phones to school, and you could do a Zoom meeting there during a break.
They know how to do that from school?
I mean, if I could put Zoom on their phones, and if you guys send a link like you did, it kind of just hooks up. I could have a teacher help them and then get them in a room.
Well, when do they come home on Tuesday?
All right, guys, now we're deep into the real courtroom drama. The mother pushes back, claiming the kids don't want to go, while the father's attorney insists compliance with the order. The judge steps in repeatedly, stressing that court orders aren't optional and mediation is mandatory. You can feel the tension escalate as the discussion covers school schedules, basketball games, banquets, and kids' extracurricular priorities. There's a clear clash between parental authority, children's wishes, and legal obligations. The courtroom exchanges are sharp, revealing underlying frustration, strategy, and human emotion. The judge navigates the complexities, warning of consequences, and scheduling a follow-up while arranging a direct Zoom conversation with the children. Every argument, pause, and warning builds suspense, highlighting both the stakes and the process of law enforcement in real life. By the end, viewers are left on edge, understanding the nuances of mediation, compliance, and family dynamics. It's a masterclass in tension, conflict, and judicial control, keeping the audience hooked throughout.
Tuesday, the bus, like 3:10. My son will have practice, but it's at 4:30, so I could have him come home and then bring him back. He usually stays after, but he could come home if we could get that done.
At like 3:20 or something?
Yep, 3:20 on Tuesday.
All right. They're going to be required to be in a room that you're not in.
Yep.
I mean, I'm real skeptical, and I understand, Mr. Quinn, what I'd be, if I was both Mr. Smith and you, I'd be very skeptical, but
Yeah.
I don't think, I don't know any other solution. Okay. And if the kids want to stay home because they don't want to miss some important extracurricular events that they've been involved with for the year, that's what happens.
Well, the kids don't get to call the shots, though. The parties agreed that
I'll make the decision. Okay. But
I'm not a huge fan of this lawyer, to be honest. He was litigating like he didn't understand what the order actually said, and that's in my unprofessional opinion.
in this particular case, the way this provision is written, I think it's important that I find out if it is feasible given the minor children's school and other scheduled activities. Other scheduled activities is what got you. Okay, school, I'd say they can miss school those days if need be. Sorry, you get your 7 days, but you might not get them now. I will schedule Tuesday at like 3:30. Is that a good time or is that too late? Tuesday at 3:30?
No, 3:30 would probably be best, yes.
I'm gonna at least talk to the kids some. Dad, you might, she said she'll have the kids call you later today. Or you can call them. All right, Mr. Smith?
Okay.
Now, Mr. Quinn, you're gonna call the mediator. As far as I'm concerned, you can contact Miss Smith and tell her when it is, even if it's later today or Saturday or Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, I will reach out to Miss Giordano to see what availability she has.
All right, good luck. All right,
I'll prepare the
Thank you.
order.
thank you. We're adjourned.
What did you guys think of this case? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.